たか。
大した歓迎だ。
我々は慈悲深い。動くな。それ以上動けば。
教えてくれ。俺が動くと。
Last time on Redo of Healer, the situation in Albin Village took a dramatic turn as Renar and his army drew nearer, fueled by their unyielding thirst for revenge. As Kearu and his companions are going about their day, suddenly there is a commotion outside. They rush out to see what is going on, only to find Jioral knights have swooped in and rounded up all the villagers from Kearu's village. The situation seems dire, and Kearu can feel his heart pounding in his chest. He quickly scans the crowd, searching for Anna, but she is nowhere to be seen. Determined to save his beloved Anna, Kearu decides to take matters into his own hands. He comes up with a plan to disguise himself as one of the soldiers from the Ice Wolf village, in the hopes of gathering some valuable information. Cautiously, he approaches one of the knights and strikes up a conversation. With his quick wit and clever words, he manages to gain the knight's trust and even invites Renar to meet up with him. As Kearu continues to gather information, he is hit with a shocking revelation. The captain of the knights, Renar, had publicly violated Anna in front of the other villagers. Kearu is filled with horror and rage at the thought of his beloved being subjected to such cruelty. As soon as Renar and his squad catch up with the disguised Kearu, he reveals himself, and Renar instantly tries to draw his sword in a fit of fury. However, before he can even unsheath it, paralyzing gas immobilizes him and his unit. With his unique heal ability, Kearu is able to witness the exact circumstances of Anna's violation, which only serves to aggravate him even further. Determined to seek revenge, Kearu decides to transform Renar into a woman, declaring that he will make him suffer just as Anna did. At first, Renar mockingly revels in recounting the experience, but his joy turns to horror when he sees his own men turning against him. With a stern voice, Kearu points out that Renar only inflicts pain on others because he has never truly felt it himself. Then he orders him to feel the pain as his brainwashed men begin ravaging him. To ensure Renar's demise, Kearu sets the entire building on fire, determined to make sure that justice is served. Afterward, Kearu rushes back to his home village to help Anna, but despite his repeated efforts to heal her, she tragically dies. Overwhelmed with grief, he returns to the inn, where he takes solace in rough sex with Setsuna and Freya, realizing that this will be the last time he sheds tears. At Jioral Castle, Norn is utterly displeased to hear that Renar has gone missing. In an attempt to release her frustration, she steps on her loyal servant John. However, this does little to calm her anger. In fact, she becomes even more infuriated and begins contemplating drastic measures. As she ponders her next move, Norn comes up with a disturbing idea: executing the innocent villagers. Such a thought fills her with a sick sense of satisfaction. Nevertheless, she knows that she cannot carry out this heinous act alone. Norn considers seeking Blade's help, but she quickly dismisses the idea. Upon their return to the inn, Kureha eagerly informs Kearu about the villagers' perilous situation. She explains that they have been imprisoned in the Colosseum, a heavily fortified arena with 2 magic barriers that ruthlessly drain their stamina and energy. Before we continue, take a moment to answer the question of the day. Have you ever read the manga of an anime you enjoyed? How did it compare to the anime? Comment down below for a chance to be shouted out, and now, back to the recap. As Kearu listens to her with a determined expression, Kureha questions his resolve to rescue the villagers in the face of such daunting odds. However, he remains undeterred, steadfastly insisting that it is his duty to save them and put an end to the Jioral Kingdom's heinous acts. Just then, Kureha drops another bombshell. Norn has returned from her studies. At the mention of her name, both Kearu and Freya are filled with mixed emotions. A sudden flashback to a previous timeline reveals that Norn was once privy to a secret that could have spelled doom for Kearu. Yet, in exchange for her silence, Kaoru had to indulge her in a sexual act. Despite the repulsiveness of this act, Kaoru knew that Norn was the only one who could possibly kill him in this world. He decides to spare her for now. As Kaoru blends in with the spectators at the Colosseum, he meticulously prepares himself to save the helpless villagers. As he patiently waits for the execution to begin, he keeps his wits about him, surveying his surroundings with hawk-like precision. Suddenly, a glint in his eye catches the attention of everyone around him. Without missing a beat, Kaoru boldly steps forward, revealing himself to the crowd. As Kaoru starts to slaughter the executioners, he becomes more and more enraged. He doesn't stop, even when they begin to kill innocent villagers who are caught in the crossfire. Suddenly, the executioners try to use a magical barrier to drain his strength, hoping to overpower him. But Freya, always quick on her feet, reverses the effect, allowing Kaoru to keep fighting. As he fights, Kaoru discovers a horrifying truth. The villagers had been poisoned before the battle even began. They were already dying, and he was only able to save one young boy. Meanwhile, Freya reveals herself at the crowd, pretending to be Flare. Her actions cause the audience to turn on the executioners, and they begin to fight back against their oppressors. As the battle rages on, Kaoru feels guilty about the boy's fate. He knows that the child blames him for everything that has happened, and he can't shake the feeling of responsibility. In an attempt to make things right, he tells a merchant to care for the boy and ensure his safety. Kureya, always vigilant, leaves to continue spying on the kingdom. She warns Kaoru that Norn and her army are headed for the city of Branica. This news surprises him because he knows that Norn never went to Branica in his previous life. It's a sign that things are changing in this new timeline. Determined to learn more, Kaoru decides to travel to Branica himself. Along the way, he and his companions make camp and take some time to relax. It's here that Kaoru has sex with both Freya and Setsuna, exploring his feelings for both women. During their intimate moments, Freya reveals something unsettling. She tells Kaoru that she will kill anyone who stands in his way. Though he appreciates her devotion to him, he can't help but notice that her personality is not that different from Flare's. Freya's incredible power causes her magic staves to eventually break. Therefore, Kaoru decides that they will one day have to acquire divine weapons that can handle it. As they make their way to Branica, where humans and other races coexist in harmony, unlike many other places, the party discovers a lot more about this new land. Upon arriving, they decide to dine at a local restaurant where they unexpectedly bump into Eve Reese, the demon lord Kaoru previously met and defeated in his first life. Interestingly, she appears to be less powerful, causing Kaoru to realize that she is not yet the demon lord. As the party continues to interact with Eve, they learn that she belongs to the Black Wing tribe, a group that the current demon lord has ordered to be eradicated. However, bounty hunters attack her and she gets hit by a poisoned arrow. Fortunately, Kaoru's party comes to her rescue and takes her in to be healed. While in hiding, Kaoru takes the opportunity to explain to Eve that he met her in the future, where she becomes the demon lord. In an effort to protect her until she claims her destiny, he invites her to stay with the group. Despite her initial reluctance, she agrees to join them. However, Eve's stay with the group takes an unexpected turn when she wakes up in the middle of the night and catches Kaoru having sex with Freya and Setsuna right in front of her. Shocked and embarrassed, she tries to leave, but Kaoru invites her to join them and taunts her to prove that she is a grown-up. Well, ara. If you're curious about what happens next, find out on our next recap of Redo of Healer.